little higher. There we go.
With his appointment to the CFL, Orridge became the first black commissioner of a major sports league in North America.
We were thinking about how do we showcase our product and our brand even better, and it goes along with my strategic plan in terms of stars, stories, and big events.
But the Canadian Football League is just a small part of his impressive resume. Harvard Law grad, general counsel for USA Basketball, senior roles at Reebok, the CBC, Canadian Tire, and currently the Black North Initiative, which describes itself as committed to removing anti-black systemic barriers. I spoke to Orridge via Skype. Jeffrey Orridge, really nice speaking with you this evening.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
We've heard a lot of stories of people encountering police bias, and for you, growing up in the United States, no exception. Tell me about Colorado Springs.
It was unfortunate. I became the first general counsel at USA Basketball, which ultimately became the Dream Team. And in moving there from New York City, I remember the first month I was there, I was stopped 3 times by the Colorado Springs Police Department on my way home from work. That behavior really didn't stop until the head of the U.S. Olympic Committee offered to intercede and introduce me to the Colorado Springs police chief to let him know who I was and what I was there for.
Boy, for a lot of Canadians, that story will seem extraordinary, but unfortunately, from what we've been hearing, not unusual. You eventually come to Canada, you become the head of CBC Sports, and I remember that time because people would never refer to you as the Harvard Law guy or the former basketball executive, sometimes as the American, but always as the black guy. What was it like at CBC and then later on at the CFL to be the black guy?
Well, I don't think anybody really wants to be defined by the color of their skin. I would have rather been referred to as the really intelligent guy, the extremely competent guy, maybe even the good-looking guy. But unfortunately, you know, the designation of black typically has negative connotations in our society. And it's often seemed as being something less than. And if they were referring to me as the black guy because I was the only one in that environment or in that atmosphere, then that's even more of a problem, I think, the fact that I could be designated as the black guy.
So sometimes, you know, you try to read the subtle signs of what does somebody actually mean by calling you the black guy. Other times you don't have to read the signs. It's explicit. And you got some really disturbing emails when you were the commissioner of the CFL.
Well, I did get hate mail, and it wasn't necessarily because of the decisions I made as commissioner of the CFL that affected one team or another. It was racially charged, it was racially motivated, and it was very blatant in many respects. And so it was everything from my Twitter account to actually receiving mail at home, which exposed the bigotry that many people had in this country, which was shocking to me because I didn't think that it existed in Canada.
You know, we do live, though, in a time of optimism in the United States, but I think especially in Canada, and there may be people who are watching this right now who are saying they need to change their hiring practices. I mean, maybe, Jeffrey, they're even saying we need a black guy or a black woman. What would your advice be to them?
My advice would be that you need to hire the best person available. And research has shown, though, that by expanding your talent pool and accessing a diverse group of people, having diversity of thought and experience and background will deliver better results. I've been in the business of sport for over 30 years, and every organization that I've worked for looks for a competitive advantage, and that's how you get it. But you have to identify the talent, cultivate it, train that talent, and give them equal access and equal opportunity to actually perform. And I think that's the crux of things right now. And once again, it is not, courage is not the opposite of cowardice. Courage is actually the opposite of conformity. And I believe that we cannot continue to do the things that we've been doing the same old way without expecting the same old results. And that's why we're having this national conversation, which is hopeful and heartening.
But you know, there are some people probably listening right now who are saying, the system now chooses the best people, and if we have to go out of our way to hire people of color, that means lowering our standards.
I beg to differ. I think that I know that there are a huge amount of unresourced, underexploited, underrepresented talent in Canada. All that's necessary is equal access and equal opportunity. All we want to do is level the playing field to give everybody an opportunity to contribute, because there are gems within our society that just are not exposed because they don't have the talent. They're just not sourced.
15 seconds left. Let me ask you this. Are you optimistic?
I'm extraordinarily optimistic. I moved to Canada because I believe in Canada. I believe in this brand. I think this is the best country on earth. And the fact that we're having this conversation and this national dialogue is a great first step. And the other things like the Black North Initiative to further the conversation and push the agenda to make sure that those barriers of inequality and inequities are lowered and that everybody has equal access to equal opportunity.
That initiative, of course, something you're involved in. People can look it up to find out more about it. And I got to tell you, real pleasure speaking with you tonight. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.